What's up, YouTube? So in this video I'm going to be giving my game day report for the Buffalo Bills game. A lot of injuries, of course. Teron Armstead is still questionable. I mean, look at this: toe, pec, and knee. He had limited participation Thursday. Honestly, I don't know if he's going to be able to play or not, especially in the cold weather. He says he's going to. So, I mean, we'll see. He definitely wasn't as good as he normally would be when he was healthy, but I don't know if he... I think an injured Teron Armstead might still be better than Eric Fisher, who's still kind of rusty. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. Maybe just monitor it. If he's struggling too much, maybe put Eric Fisher in. I don't know. Elijah Campbell being out, that's not great. I mean, I figured with the concussion. It's not great for our special teams. And we're already missing a lot of DBs as is, especially with Eric Rowe out now too. We'll talk about that in a little bit. River Craycraft, I mean, if he didn't participate, I don't think he's playing. I mean, it says doubtful, but Jeff Wilson didn't participate until Thursday. I kind of doubt he'll play. I mean, maybe he will, but probably not. Which is really tough. Puts us in a really tough spot because I think running the ball is going to be a pretty big deal here. Teddy Bridgewater may as well not play. That's fine. Scott Thompson can be the backup. That's fine. So looking at our depth chart real quick with those injuries in mind. If Jeff Wilson doesn't go, I assume Savon Ahmed and Myles Gaskin will both be active, and I think we're going to have to run the football a lot against the Bills. I know I didn't do a video on the Bills this year. I mean, this week I just didn't have time. But what teams have been doing to us lately, whether it be the Niners, the Chargers, and even going back to the second half against the Steelers, what teams are doing now is they're rushing 4 because our offensive line is bad and they can get pressure still that way. And they're having 7 people dropping back into coverage, and then they're pulling their linebackers back so that they can cover that deep middle that the Dolphins keep attacking. And that way they can take away what we're wanting to do to them. And if you're backing 7 of your defenders away from the line of scrimmage, what you're supposed to do seems pretty obvious in my opinion, and that's running the football and, throwing it underneath. Trying to force it downfield when there's 7 people back in coverage, it isn't smart, and that's what we kept trying to do. The play call from Mike McDaniel and the decision making from Tua in that regard was pretty bad, especially in the Chargers game. That's why the passing game failed as much as it did. So I do want to see us run the football a lot more. It is weird to me with River Craycraft out, most likely. It's weird that we haven't brought up another receiver like Freddie Swain. Maybe that means we'll see Eric Izukama today. That'd be nice. Especially with Jeff Wilson hurt, because that really hurts too. Plus with the snow, you're going to want to run the football too. So that's a big part of it as well. So I assume we'll see a lot of Durham Smythe, maybe even Hunter Long, especially with Teron Armstead hurt. So, yeah, there's that. And then, as I mentioned, at safety with Eric Rowe and Elijah Campbell out, this really makes our safety room pretty light. And I think we're probably, that strong safety spot, I think we're going to have like a rotation of Clayton and Verone McKinley. Because Eric Rowe is a guy that will drop back into coverage and let him, cover half the field, like a cover 2 type thing sometimes. He's capable of doing that. And that's more so what I would like to do with Verone McKinley. He's much better about being able to drop back into coverage. And you can even do some things with Verone McKinley where you have him as a single high and you can even drop Javon Holland into the box. So we can kind of mess around with that stuff. And then Clayton, you just kind of want to put him in the box and just let him hit people. So I kind of want to rotate these two depending on the packages that we're looking for. And just see what kind of shakes out from that. But beyond that, this is going to be a really rough game for us. Let's look at some of the Bills injuries. Yeah, Ryan Bates, okay. And Jordan Phillips. All right, let's take a look. And obviously the Bills are pretty stacked. For some reason, they don't have Cole Beasley or John Brown on the ESPN website or on the Bills website on the active roster. You can see them on the practice squad still, but I'm pretty sure they elevated them, especially John Brown. I'm almost certain of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see them at least to some capacity, especially John Brown, because he's been on the Bills practice squad for a good part of the year, I believe. So, yeah. Obviously, Josh Allen, amazing. Even with the injured elbow, he's still been playing very well. The cold can definitely make that injury a little bit worse, but he's used to it at this point, so it is what it is. Devin Singletary, James Cook, Nyheim Hines, they got all the runners you could ask for. So that does give them the advantage in the snow, especially with Jeff Wilson out. Stephon Diggs, we all know how good he is. Gabe Davis is all right. Isaiah McKenzie is a really big threat. Khalil Shakir can be a threat. And obviously, if Cole Beasley and John Brown can play too, that's obviously going to make things even harder on us. Dawson Knox is a really, really underrated tight end in this league. Ryan Bates not playing does help, but their offensive line is still pretty fine. And like I said, Von Miller is going to be out, and as is Jordan Phillips. I think Jordan Phillips was out when we played him earlier in the year too, I believe. But even just this defensive line can get pass rush. Greg Rousseau, Boogie Basham, Carlos Basham, whichever you want to call him, Ed Ingram, Daquan Jones, Shaq Lawson, like those guys can get pass rush. And just with 4 down linemen. So they're going to be dropping these guys back a lot, and that's what the Bills do. Like, dropping 7 people into coverage is something that teams like the Chargers and the Steelers, that was an adaptation of their defense to try to beat us and what we're good at. But dropping 7 people back into coverage is what the Bills do. Like, that is the identity of their defense, is to have 4 defensive linemen get pass rush just by themselves and having 7 people back in coverage. That is what the Bills' defense is built upon. So this defense is built to cause our offense problems. So we're going to have to play a little bit different. We can't just do the same shit. They got a lot of linebackers that can cover pretty well. Some pretty good defensive backs. And like I said, they got a lot of pass rushers. So we're going to have to run the ball. We can't just let them tee off on Tua. I know that we are most likely not going to have Jeff Wilson. And even if he is, he'll probably be on like a snap count. But we're going to have to try to run. We're going to have to figure out a way to run the football. We're going to have to, try to throw underneath. We got to stay disciplined. We can't force shit. If you think about like how the Packers, not this year with the Packers, but a few years ago, teams were so afraid of Aaron Rodgers pushing the ball downfield that they had a very similar approach, as they would rush with 4 and dare the Packers to run the football. And they would do like 4 deep shells. Like that was a very common thing to attack Aaron Rodgers with, because it forces you to stay patient and take those underneath checkdowns. And just slowly but surely make your way up the field, and you have to keep making good decisions the entire way up the field. And that's what defenses are daring Tua to do, and we really need him to step up and do it. So, yeah. And Mike McDaniel needs to kind of help out with that too. with his play call. So, anyway, that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, I appreciate hitting that like button. Have any questions or comments in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.